Welcome back to Marbella Now. My name is Nicole King, and this is my boy.
Hey, hey, it's a brand new day. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Halfway twisted.
To start off this week's programme, we're welcoming back a very familiar face and a very loved persona in our community, Lily Van Tongeren. She is passionate about animals, particularly dogs, and saving them, and has done so for hundreds. She's now started up as of maybe, 18 months ago, Lily?
Yeah,
welcome back. A new association, Animals in Marbella Sanctuary, where Lily and 3 others have formed this association to help animals and all the different rescue centres that need it. Thanks to your expertise, you've become quite a dab hand at fundraising and rallying the community in the last decade, Lily.
Yeah,
I've been watching it front row.
Yeah, the fundraising was a big part of what we did, but while we, all 4 of us, were volunteering, of course, for a much larger shelter, we saw a lot of things that we would like to have changed, but for the larger centers, it's very difficult. And so that's why one of the reasons why we started what we started. It's to give more personal attention to the individual dogs that really need it, because all dogs, injured dogs, dogs with a problem either mentally or physically, they get lost in the bigger shelters, and there's never the money or the capacity of people to look to those dogs, and they kind of get lost and stay there for years before they eventually get adopted, if they get adopted at all. So what we're doing mainly is looking at the dogs that really, really need it. We've just removed from Los Barrios in the south of Spain 2 PPP dogs who had been in there in a cage for 6 years.
Oh my word.
And now they're in the sanctuary that we're working together with, and where they can be running free. I mean, in an enclosure, but they're free. They're not in cages anymore. So, I mean, to them, that's heaven. We have also a little doggy that was thrown over the fence that was paralyzed. And of course, that cannot go to a normal shelter. So that went to the sanctuary, where it gets the attention, the medical attention, and the physiotherapy, I hope, to see if it can ever walk again, so that it has a second chance to be able to be adopted. It's the same with some other individual dogs. Personally, I look, of course, a lot after the older dogs. I've got with me Soos, and Soos is 13 years old. Unfortunately, the owners had to give her up with regards to medical problems they had in their home. They didn't want to. So therefore, I've adopted him myself, and he can stay in our home for, the last few years, because of course he cannot go to a shelter. A dog that has been in a home for so many years, and then for whatever reason, a lot of the older people pass away, families don't want to take care of the dogs, and the dogs are like 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. You cannot really get them into a shelter. That is devastating, and that's the things that we have seen at the larger shelter. And so we're trying to kind of individually help the dogs that really need it, and place them in another environment than just in a shelter.
It's not only the dogs that are benefiting, because I take it as myself, if for any reason I couldn't look after my animal, the thought of him having to go into a shelter for the end of days would be devastating. I think for the owners that have to give up their animals for medical reasons, to know that they are then with someone who's going to love them and look after them makes a big difference.
Absolutely.
So I know the animals are your priority, but it's wonderful to see how the ramifications of having an association such as yours that is that little bit more specialise, and I love it that you do handle the older dogs, look for them to be rehoused, and if you can't, they all end up living with you.
Well, I hope not too many, but you know, the most important thing for us, of course, is to have fosters, people who are willing, and of course it could be very older people, to take in an older dog, to have the company. A lot of old people are lonely. They kind of sit behind the geraniums, although now these days there's a lot more things to do for the older people. But for some people it would be wonderful because it makes them go out for a little walk. The older ones don't have to walk very much. They don't really need that much care in that they, you know, they're not difficult to handle. And they don't need many walks, but they need a little bit of walks. And you will find that older people that, like myself, walk with older dogs. You will always meet other people, either with or without dogs. They will always talk to you. It's one of the best ways to socialize is to have a little dog. And that's why we're looking for fosters who are willing that when we have an older dog that needs a place to stay, we will sponsor that dog and help the people either with the medical expenses, because that holds a lot of people back with older dogs. They might get some medical expenses. Well, in case that ever happens, we will look after that.
I think that's a very important factor because, as you say, a lot of people unfortunately seem to just abandon their dogs when they get older because of the cost, or put them down.
Yeah.
If they can find a vet that will do so.
Hopefully not.
But exactly, but in the sense of there's everything out there.
Yeah.
But knowing that the AIM sanctuary covers the charges if you adopt an older dog, I think is a very big selling point.
Yes.
Because you're doing a good deed, you're getting good company. I probably would never leave the house if it wasn't for Boy. You know, I work from home, and apart from the days I do television, because of him, I leave 3 or 4 times, walk, get the exercise, fresh air, and as you say, invariably end up speaking to people. So it's good for everybody all round.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that much time. I mean, if you're old and retired, then you know it's a wonderful way of meeting other people, and you know, getting a lot of love back from an old dog. I mean, it's amazing how this little dog has been with me now since the 1st of April. He's totally attached to me, follows me everywhere, even in the bathroom.
Do you see that he's missing his family?
No.
That's good. He's getting enough love.
The first few days he was a little bit like, what am I doing here? But I don't know anything at all that he's missing his family. I think the family misses him more than he misses the family.
Maybe he's a little bit older. Maybe he's not realising as much, hopefully. Because that's just the thing. Animals build such an attachment, don't they, that it's quite heartbreaking.
Yes, it is. But I've learned over the many years that I've had dogs in the home, and the foster dogs, some of them have stayed with me for more than a year or a year before they were adopted. And when they left, it was me who was crying. It was me who felt sorry for the dogs. It felt me like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't think I'm abandoning him. It was more the person. And yes, when they go into the cage in the car to go to Germany or whatever, they look at you and they really do not know what's happening. So I try to put them at ease and not to cry in front of their face. I do it when I get home. But then when I hear they arrive in their new place, they meet their new family, they are really looked after. They adjust amazingly. I've always been surprised how amazingly quick the dogs will respond to a new love, to a new home. It's only been with one dog that I had for a long time, and he had like a little puppy. He had 3 or 4 operations before he finally was adopted. He went to Germany. And that is the only one that I hear from the owners that it took a long time for that dog to kind of settle down. And I don't know if it was just because of the operations or what it was. But other than that, all the reports I get from all the many dogs that came through our home, never any problems of anxiety or loneliness or not adjusted. It's always gone well. So it's always amazed me that dogs will adapt to love, no matter where it comes from.
Exactly, don't we all? How can we, as a community, help animals in Marbella Sanctuary?
First of all, by donations, of course. Sponsoring any of the dogs that are on our website is always extremely welcome. Donations is the best. Fostering, Coming to our events, we have an event coming up on the 14th of May in La Sala, a really nice lunch with a fashion show. Then we have a private party in somebody's house who is organizing that for us, and that's per invitation. So if they really like to be invited, they can contact me. We have live music, and it's a pool party,
Oh,
and
lovely.
it's really, really nice in somebody's garden. And so yeah, come to our events, check our websites, check our social media when we ask for things. But the major thing at this point is sponsoring and coming to the events and donations.
Yeah, because I mean, I see you use the money very wisely. Everything's very transparent.
Very.
There is no base, so there's no maintenance of a sanctuary. Every single amount that is raised goes to paying for medical bills, operations, whatever
Yep.
it is. That's
And the
needed.
dogs that we place, if we take them out of the shelter and we place them in the sanctuary that we work with, we are paying for them as well. And we find sponsors also to pay for them, because of course they have to exist. They cannot keep on taking dogs for free. So yes, that's what the money goes to getting the dogs into a proper place, out of a shelter, or not in a shelter, but in a sanctuary or in an area where they can be free. There are several smaller shelters that do not use cages, and if we can place a dog there so they don't have to be in a cage, we will sponsor those with the money that people donate to us.
Isn't it lovely? Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. It's very appreciated. I mean, imagine if all these dogs that are in these centres were on the streets. Marbella would be full of poop.
Yeah.
The rubbish bins would be all over the place. And I do remember those back in the day, how it used to be. So we're
Yeah.
very lucky to have as many members of the community as we do, looking after our animals, and you leading the bandwagon there with your passion and joy for everything you do. How do you find time for anything else? Or don't you? Basically, you don't.
I do. And I am not as busy as I used to be with AAA when I was there. So I am quite a lot at home, of course, also because of my husband, who is,
Hi, Tom.
retired.
Love you, Tom.
I spent extra time with him at this time, and I do it. And of course, the dogs that I have at home, they need care.
looking after.
They're older ones. They need walking. They need looking after. And if there are puppies to be looked after, I take them in the home. So, and because there is no shelter to go to, a specific shelter to go to, I've got more times on my hands.
I am delighted, because I've always admired everything you do, but it was worrying.
Nah.
It was worrying because your level of commitment is unstoppable. But it's lovely to see, and now that winter's over, that's also a bit of a relief, isn't it? The towels and the blankets,
yes.
and
The dryer
cold
season.
and the wet and the
Yeah.
dryer, and so everything's just getting that little bit easier for the
Yeah.
animals now.
Yeah. So we're ready to look after the animals that really need it, and then we jump in, and we never know. It can be any time.
So if you have an animal that needs help, needs rehoming, something, or you particularly would like to take on the responsibility of adopting or fostering, please do contact Lily and the team at Animals in Marbella Sanctuary Aims. They'll be delighted to hear from you. They have very high aims, and achieving them, which is
Yes.
what is absolutely the best of the best.
Yeah, we like to be different, and we are different, and we like to do it good.
And you're doing good.
Thank you.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Lily, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, hey.
When you think of car or motorbike insurance, think Linear Director. When you most need your insurance company, Linear Director are there for you. With tow trucks, courtesy car, mechanics, legal advice, even overnight stay in a hotel if you need it. There's a whole department dedicated to us Brits with people who speak English there to help us. If you're looking for an insurance policy that really takes all your needs into consideration whilst you're driving in Spain, then Linear Director really is the company for you. Why don't you give them a call? 952 14 78 34 or contact them online.
Zero Heroes, welcome to Urban Chai.
Hey, hey.
Marbella is a very transitional city, so newcomers might never have heard of collective calling. Those of us who live here know all too well how important they are for helping the homeless, helping those in Tanzania. In fact, they are complete busybodies when it comes to helping others and covering those cracks in the system, it would seem. Paul, lovely to see you again. It's been quite a while.
It has been, yeah, it has been. How long has it been now?
I don't know. I can't remember.
A couple of years at least, I'm sure.
It has. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just you guys are always so busy. And when we have agreed for you to come on the programme, you then something comes up because you've rushed off to save a homeless person or you've had to take a delivery or you're doing something.
You're very kind.
You
You're very kind.
Gemma, I always say Gemma because it's like Spanish, but Gemma, your lovely wife, together you make up a formidable team.
That's right.
And is it, what, 10, 11 years now that you've been going?
It's eight.
It's
8 years with Collective
I
Calling.
said, I feel like you've been here forever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it feels like it
You've
as well.
done very well in just 8 years. You're very consolidated and the charity's gone from strength to strength, a lot of local support.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, as in the name, Collective Calling, it's a collective of people who have a calling to help, right? So it's just been great just to see, all different people from all different nationalities who come to live here on the coast or only spend a couple of months here. And we just had a phone call the other day, actually, from a couple who have moved from America. And they're like, we've just come here and we'd like to get involved locally. And they're going to be volunteering in the charity shop in San Pedro. So it's really great because you get just to meet all different types of people while doing something good, right?
So tell us a bit about Collective Calling for those, as I say, in a transitional city. When I first got to Marbella, we were talking before with Lily. She volunteered with AAA. She now has Animals in Marbella Sanctuary. But everyone used to talk about AAA in Marbella, and I thought it was an Alcoholics Anonymous association.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It didn't click. And a lot of times I think we take for granted that people just know. So for those who maybe not know, what is Collective Calling?
So yeah, Collective Calling is a Spanish registered charity. We operate here in Spain. We support the homeless. Have been supporting the homeless, since we started basically 7 years ago. But that journey's been interesting. We now support our homeless friends with a mobile shower van, which provides hot showers to our homeless friends, which is just really great and really special, and it's something that's been on our heart for a number of years, and it's only just come to, a reality over the last 12 months. So.
I am blown away. That is so impressive. What an amazing, useful, needed addition to the services that people try to give those who are so unfortunate that they have nowhere to live. An increasing problem.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and it really became apparent because of the water shortages and, before we had all of this rain, of course, but there was water shortages, so all the showers at the beach were turned off, and that kind of exacerbated the problem there. And with the lack of shelters on the coast, you have shelters in La Linea, shelters in Malaga, but those beds are taken up very quickly. And if your name is on the list that evening, then you miss out on not only a bed to sleep in, but you miss out on the other services that are provided by shelters, right? Such as hygiene, food, hygiene, hot shower, just general things that we need as human beings, right?
So how does this mobile shower thing work? What's the format? What's your route?
Yeah, so at the moment, every Tuesday we go to Malaga.
Okay.
And we've collaborated with Angeles de la Noche, which is a soup kitchen essentially in Malaga. Does amazing work. They provide hundreds of meals a day for the homeless community and also underprivileged persons who are economically challenged, right? So they've been very welcoming, and we've partnered with this soup kitchen. So they basically prepare a list for us. They speak to persons that they're serving with food, and they create a list, and they say, we're going to be turning up at 10 o'clock Tuesday morning. So we turn up with the van, and the list is already pre-made, and there you go. It takes about 2.5 hours to serve about 12 people. It's solar powered, so again, and it's hot water. So where'd
you get the water? I mean, how does all that work?
Yeah, so we fill that up at our home, actually. Yeah,
Enough to be able to shower 12 people?
Yeah, it's a 500-litre water tank, which does.
Is this specially made? I mean, how did you get this thing?
Oh, I mean, that was a journey on its own, right? So you carry a vision, you're like, this will be great. All of a sudden, the funding comes, and it's like, okay, now what? How do we actually bring this to a reality? So, you know, just through trial and error, speaking to various garages, we actually found the person who's based in La Cala car park, you know, where the market is on a Saturday. He's an expert in camper vans, so he knows exactly how to refurbish, you know, vans and kind of fix them into some type of mobile shower anyway. And he was just the perfect guy for it.
Amazing, isn't it? Once you have a vision, how it comes to fruition.
Yeah.
You're just having that passion, and that's something that you and Gemma really have. You have visions. You have passions for the things that you then, because I hear you talking about them, and then they're there.
Right.
Then you're doing them. So
Yeah.
it's really lovely to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's the interesting dynamic, right? And that's why we need each other, like Gemma and myself. We need each other because I'm definitely more of a visionary, and Gemma is also a visionary, but she's also very practical. You know, she's like, okay, how do we take care of the practicalities of everything? So sometimes have to draw me back. You're like, okay, before we go running off too far, it's like, have we thought through these areas? So it's a really good balance that we have.
It is. It's always nice to have somebody that complements your qualities, that you bounce off each other. And so you go to Tuesday mornings with the shower van to Malaga. Do you do anything locally?
Fuengirola is the other place where we go every Thursday morning. Again, we've partnered. We didn't really know. We knew that there was a need. We've spoken to our homeless friends. This need became apparent. So we're like, okay, let's move forward and try and bring this to a reality. And then you kind of figure it out as you go along, right? We didn't have the whole business plan, so to speak, mapped out and knowing exactly how we're going to coordinate it. But it looks as though at the moment, the best way for us to coordinate is actually partnering with existing either ministries, churches, organizations, associations, whoever it is who's already providing services to the homeless community, but don't provide a shower service or a hot shower. Then we can come alongside that service provider and provide an additional service. So that's working really well at the moment.
Yeah, it makes sense because the people who need it kind of know to go to those places, hopefully, or people direct them to those areas, and therefore it just makes it easier for everybody. And what's the homeless situation like in Marbella and the Costa del Sol? Do we know?
Yeah, so I mean, they're really spread out, like we know, right? There isn't any real central points where people are, I suppose, drawn to, because a lot of the services are in Malaga and La Linea, so there's kind of push and pull factors. Which...
I know we have food banks, but I kind of think that's like the limit. Which is wonderful that people can go and get food if they can't afford to eat.
Exactly.
But I don't believe that there are any shelters as such and soup kitchens. There used to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think since COVID they've come back. It's kind of an interesting
dynamic.
Maybe have to look into that one more.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whoever wants to open up a soup kitchen, it's there's a need there, I'm sure.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
There definitely is. Well, it's lovely to see you again,
Yeah,
but I
you
do
too.
want to have a quick chat with Gemma as well and find out
Superwoman.
Yes, Superwoman.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I mean, behind every great bloke is an even greater
Absolutely.
woman. They say that.
Absolutely.
And it is. It's nice as you say that the two of you, you know, like together, you make your plans happen.
Yeah.
And so we'll chat with Gemma and find out a bit about the shops and what you're doing in Tanzania.
Yeah, great. Absolutely.
Or Tanzania.
Yeah. Thank you, Nicole.
Oh, lovely to see you.
Yeah,
Paul.
you too.
Congratulations. Good job.
Well, thank you. You too.
And now I'm delighted to introduce Gemma Carr. Long time also, Gemma, since I've seen you.
No, too long, my dear.
Way too long. I mean, we've caught up in a couple of events in La Sala, and when you guys have been, you know, doing your charity events, which is nice. Tried to go as many as we can to keep up with everything. But you're lucky also, like with Lily, you guys are good fundraisers.
Yes.
Good at doing events.
Lots of events, yes.
And then putting it to good use.
That's been put into our lap, yes, definitely. We've got a couple of events coming up as well, so...
Tell us about those first.
All right, I'll tell you about those first. So we've got a good fun sports event coming up on May the 10th. This is free to come, so come and watch. It's on Portobello Beach by La Pascuera.
Okay.
And we do it every year, and it's Marbella Beach Olympics. So if anyone wants to come and, you know, see some muscles running, you know, rolling around in the sand and doing some great activities. Then we just have teams coming together we've got like F45 gym, we've got some Alpha Wolves, I hope. Big Daddies are the reigning champions for the last few years, so they get to, you have to beat those for a trophy and prizes.
But
and
what are they
winners,
doing? Are they volleyballs or...?
all different. So like team activities. So the finale is tug of war, but they'll do like press ups and burpees and some water activities and actually the wall stand when people are doing like standing up against the wall. I don't know how they do that, but that's one of the activities. So yeah, it's all good. It's all kind of umpired and refereed and timed, and yeah, we have a scoreboard and it's great.
Can
fun.
teams get
Really
involved
fun.
still, or is that
Yes,
closed?
we definitely, yeah. We normally have, I think we're on 5 out of 6 teams. We could do with, we can have up to 8 teams.
And how many people per team? What are the requirements?
Minimum 5 people, maximum 10, and it's just you raise €500 per team, which gets donated to the charity. And yeah, you compete for some prizes and a trophy. So get in touch with us so any fitness fanatics, or it can be gyms, it can just be a group of friends that get together. It's manageable activities. It's not too crazy, but it's good fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun, like a school sports day for grown-ups. Raising money, that is awesome.
Yeah.
You also raise a lot of funds with your charity shops, the collective calling shops.
We do. Well, we have our big summer galas and our winter galas. So the summer gala that's coming up. Yeah, sorry, that's the only one the big one that's coming up is on the 8th of June.
Is that in the Via Padierna where you celebrate that, or you change
That's
venue?
where we just had that in winter. So the summer one, we're doing a daytime event this time, actually.
Nice.
We're doing it on a Sunday, 3 till 10, and that's at Finca Amalur in Marbella.
Yes. We did a United
Lovely wedding
Nationalities
venue.
there.
Yes,
and
I know. That's where I think I saw you
And
before.
I remember asking Ashley, my daughter, how to say it in English, because in Spanish it's finca malura lavardero.
Right.
And so I said, how people weren't understanding me. She goes, you've got to say finca amalur a la bardero. And I was like, okay. But I have to like put the face on and everything. Finca amalur.
Well, you can say it in Spanish better than I can.
But it's a beautiful venue.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. So Boho Garden Gala Party, basically.
Lovely.
So that's going to be really nice theme, and that's tickets are €125 per person, which includes the donation. We're having a nice garden buffet and drinks included, and some fantastic entertainment. We've got Mr. Math and a saxophonist, and we've got bespoke live productions that do fantastic shows and lots of special surprises up our sleeves. So
wonderful.
That's one not to miss. And then, yeah, like you say, we've got our charity shop. So we have the one in San Pedro we've had for the last 3 years, and that is amazing. That's just behind the main church in the church square of San Pedro. On Avenida Pablo Picasso, and that's just got some wonderful bargains. We pride ourselves in making them look like boutiques and nice proper, not your typical, I guess, charity shop that sometimes you get the impression that they are. It's like smells lovely and all the clothes are designer and like beautiful bargains. And our very new one that we've opened in is in Estepona on Avenida Andalusia. So that's another wonderful new one.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so we need volunteers and donations of clothes and shoes and handbags and furniture, homeware, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you carry homeware as well?
Yes. The Estepona shop's a bit bigger and a bit, so it's got more space for homeware and a few little furniture
I buy
items.
a lot of my things in charity shops.
All of my stuff is from charity shops now.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And living in an area like we do, some of the donations are just...
Well, you
amazing.
can imagine, right?
I mean, like,
They're
really nice brands.
Very nice.
Some things have never been worn.
Exactly, right? All labels on, especially. Like, it's incredible the type of donations we get. So it's well worth a visit and coming and seeing what bargains you
And where
can
do the
get.
funds go? Well, you guys are doing all these events, and what do you do with those funds? You look like you're the boss lady doing all the payments and spreading it out.
As Paul explained, we've got our project in Spain that we're helping with the homeless, but we also have a very large project in Tanzania that we've been doing for the last 8 years. And that's always been extremely special and close to our heart, as that's helping. We rescue street children. As when we first saw it, the situation out there, we were looking at children as young as 5 years old on the streets. I mean, we're not used to seeing that at all, are we? So that completely just struck us to the core, really. And there were absolutely zero services available in that area, like nothing. And all of these children are just missing out on their childhood. They're not going to school. They're just trying to scrounge around for food out the bins and, you know, working and all sorts of just horrendous experiences that they've been through as well. So we have, obviously we have a rescue centre there where we house children. We house up to 30 children, and we've had that for the last 7-8 years.
So you have people having to be there and...
Yeah, we've got local staff. We've got 9 staff with matrons and social workers.
How do you deal with the situation, the administration, and must have been very difficult also to set everything up over there?
Yes, it was complicated, long, but we are finally in a place where we have just a fantastic team of staff around us now. We're registered internationally in Tanzania, so everything's, after many years, we have finally found our space there and very comfortable and you know, a little bit more used to the whole situation. But yeah, it's really just a wonderful project, and it's about rehabilitating the children and then getting them back into family. So that was the main kind of purpose behind it, and we've just seen some beautiful transformations now of kids that have been with us for 5 years. We didn't intend for them to be with us for 5 years, but there's a group of children that just their home situations were just impossible to be able to get them back reintegrated into, and they've just stayed with us, and we've seen them grow from 9 to 17, 18 now, and they've just, because they start their schooling late, they've only just graduated from primary school, bless them, but they've just entered private secondary school. This is an opportunity that these kids would never have had in any other circumstance, and they're learning English and they're wanting to be doctors and nurses and engineers, and just they're real leaders in the community, speak so well, very confident, and I've got big high hopes for these beautiful kids. Oh my gosh, it's just so exciting to see.
It couldn't be more rewarding if you tried.
Oh, it just makes your heart burst every time that
I
we're
imagine
out there.
you two jump out of bed in the morning just like so excited for the day.
And we just got back from a trip, so it's really encouraging. Like, we always try and, you know, a lot of our videos on social media is just showing people exactly where their donations have gone. So we're actually on the ground just giving them the insights and doing rescues and, you know, showing them sort of home visits and visiting the schools that they're going to and just seeing all their stories. And so yeah, it's just so special, and it's just really encouraging to see the fruit of all the work that we do from the events and everything that we're having. This is where it's going. It's transforming lives, literally transforming lives. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. I mean, what a great couple, a powerhouse couple. Anything we've missed out? Anything else to cover?
Just a new group that we've started up called Changemakers. Now, this is very interesting. We hold it once a month, and we hold it at La Sala in Puedes. It's on a Saturday morning. It's from 10:30 till 12, and we've opened it up as free to come. We offer coffee and croissant for €5 if you'd like to join us with that. But we have a speaker every week, and it's about bringing like-minded individuals together that want to help the community, that want to do something good with their talents and their gifts. So it's about really discovering what your gift is, developing your gift. So it's a lot about self-development. A lot of the speakers are here to kind of make you the best version of you, and, you know, give lots of tips on how you can help within the community and how to present yourself and how to be an encouragement and edify others in the right manner as well. So it's a beautiful group, and we've made some great friends, and you can have up to 25-30 people there sometimes. So we're really making good connections. It's a good social networking, business networking, everything networking. But it's a fantastic group to come along and be a part of. So kind of like a bit of a Rotary, but, you know, instead of donating, which you can do, of course, you're kind of really hands-on and getting out into the community if that's what you want to do, and actually be a part of helping those around you. So yeah, it's great.
It really is great.
Yeah, it's good fun.
I mean, it's like anything else. No, really wonderful. It's a blessing to have so many people like yourselves on the programme. And I say, when then Lily started off the programme, people who dedicate their lives basically to helping others, what we can say is thank you.
Oh,
on behalf of our community.
Thank you
Thank
as well
you
for highlighting
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
And I'll say it right in English now. Thank you, Gemma. Gracias, Gemma.
Thanks, darling.
Hey, hey.
Linear Director appreciates just how important our pets are to us, and that's why they brought out one of the most comprehensive insurance policies on the market from just €39.90 a year. Give them a call on 952 147834 or from the website lineardirector.com.
Zero Hero, welcome to Belmari. Hey, hey, it's a brand new.
Tiro, ¿no? Ok. Eso por ahí. Este por aquí, a ver si sale bien. No, por ahí. Vale, un poquito por ahí. Apple. Un poquito de agua. ¿Verdad? Ting, ting, ting. Arriba. Very good. La manzanita.
Thank you.
A la primera, ¿no? Vale.
Mocktail.
Listo.
Zero Hero, welcome to the Sister Restaurant.
Hey, hey.
It's really nice to welcome to the programme now somebody I've never met before. His name is Mark Manclow, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about this gentleman who, I don't know, are you new on the coast, Mark? Where did you suddenly appear from? A new name in our midst.
Yeah, relatively new. I've been here on and off since about 2018.
Okay.
But during that time to now, I was living in Dubai again and also in Oman. So I've been back and forth, but I have a clinical practice here in Marbella.
You're a clinical nutritionist.
Clinical nutritionist with a difference, yeah.
What's the difference?
The difference is I can literally transform somebody's life, both psychologically, physically, and spiritually in 37 days or less.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's quite a statement to make. That's just
It
a
is.
little bit over a month.
A little bit over a month.
And like in what sense? Like changing the chip that they can then be able to exercise, eat correctly? What's the...
Okay, well, we don't... I'm a former bodybuilding champion. I won about 14 national titles in the UK, so I understand that most people can't do that level of exercise. And for many years, I scratched my head and thought, is there a way that I can transform somebody without exercise? And I was introduced to a concept and an idea when I was living in Abu Dhabi in 2009, which, me coming from the school of blood, sweat and tears, thought, sounds too fantastical. I don't really buy into this. But being open-minded, I thought, I'll give it a go. I'll see how it works with clients. And I was astounded, Nicole, astounded at what happened. People were losing, women typically half a pound a day, men were losing up to a pound per day. And what was more important to me was they weren't coming out drawn and gaunt. They were full in the face, their muscle tissue was protected, their structural fat was protected, and the only thing that was being metabolized was the visceral fat, and that's the fat that creates the inflammation in the body and produces excessive estrogen in the body. But what I found also by doing that program and started to change it a little bit and tweak it, so to speak, was that I could reach somebody's heart quite quickly. And I could find out quite quickly what their problems were from the past, whether that was trauma or whatever. They seemed to open up well to me. And I learned a number of processes which would help that person to move forward in their life. And what I found was, as that person is transforming physically, so what was ever stuck inside them was also coming out at some point. And then, yeah.
Yeah, because it's like we internalise things and it comes out in physicalities, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Backache, headache, neck ache. And these can often be what we call stuck energies that are in the human body. It's not in everybody, but situations where there's very high intensity in emotions or trauma, they can get lodged. And there's a way to dislodge that, which is, I've done it myself, and I'm a biggest skeptic. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. And it just goes and you can move on with your life. So we incorporate that as well, if it's necessary. But a lot of times it can just talk to the heart and the mind and find out pretty quickly where the person's internal communication is going, how they're talking to themselves every second. Are they asking themselves quality questions? To be fair, most people ask themselves lousy questions and get lousy responses. And they wonder why their life isn't moving forward. It's actually quite simple.
It's curious that we would never say out loud to other people things that we say frequently to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like all day belittling oneself, but you wouldn't go
Right.
around saying that to somebody else.
No, of course not.
Well, one would hope not anyway.
Well, no.
Certainly hope not.
No, yeah.
How did you said you got a lot of titles in bodybuilding. How did you get into that? What was the story behind that?
It's a good question. So,
Excuse me.
through most of my life when I went into school, whether I was different, whether I was very skinny, whatever, I got picked on all the time from teachers, from the kids. I was beaten up constantly. The teachers would ridicule me. My own father, very sadly, was the same type of person. And one day when I was about 15 years old, a local gang had been looking for me. They found me. They literally beat the hell out of me.
What area did you grow up in?
Haventon, Hampshire, near Portsmouth. So it was very violent in those days. And And they beat me up very badly, broke my nose, left me on the ground. And it's one of those times, if people can relate in their lives watching this today, where you have this moment where you go, I'm done with this. I have got to change. And sometimes the fate or the universe works for you. A couple of days later, friends of mine from school took me to see a movie starring this guy called Bruce Lee. I didn't even know who that was, but I saw this guy doing all this fighting, this amazing body, and I thought, if I could be like that, it would change my life. And sure enough, I started training, doing stuff, started to change, learned about nutrition, because it was vitally important to me for my survival, my well-being. I wanted to become a better person, to be respected.
Like a Charles Atlas story.
Yeah, like a Charles Atlas story, right? Yeah, you remember that.
I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah,
yes.
me too, yeah.
Yes.
I did that, and I remember I failed and failed and failed, and everyone said to me, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time eating? You'll never amount to anything. You'll be
bless
enough.
you.
Yeah, everybody was against me. And I just didn't listen, because I had a dream for myself. Okay, and I went into bodybuilding. People said, go into the show. I failed. Finally, I just gave everything, one solid year to it. And that year, when I was 19 years old, I won my first title. But the interesting part about that was, if it was fateful, that night they changed my name. And they used my middle name, which was Mark Raymond. I didn't know that a few years later, that would be my stage name on TV, and I was going to become very famous.
Tell me more.
Tell you more.
I haven't seen English TV since I left in the 80s.
Right.
So I'm sorry I missed it.
No,
but
you
tell
definitely
me.
won't miss it when I tell you what it is. So, but I had this crazy notion. I'm a great manifester. So what I want in my life, I manifest. And I've learned this technique over time. And I manifested this crazy idea. There was no internet in that days, right? It was yellow pages. That's all you had, right? And if you had contacts at all, you were very lucky. I had no contacts, nothing, zero. I was from I wasn't poor family, it was a working class family. No connections, nothing. But I had this fantastic idea that I wanted to be nationally famous and recognised, because it was all coming from, I'll show you. I'll show you I'm a somebody. Yeah, it was anger. And incredibly, without going too lengthy into it, I met all the right contacts came into my life, until in the point I was introduced to a London agency. They helped me get my equity card. And a year later, I became nationally famous on TV on BBC for a programme called QED, which was the science of sexual attraction. And I was the first man on TV, British TV, to appear completely naked.
Wow.
Yeah,
now that is
wow.
a claim to fame.
That's a bombshell, isn't it?
Well, and I'm very regretting not having English telly, but I had no idea all this was going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy your acting episode. Did you like carry on with that
I
afterwards?
did indeed, because I remember being on the tube train the day that show launched, and it was in all the media and all the press. Everybody was after me. And I remember sitting on the tube and all the commuters with the Daily Mirror, the Sun, whatever, open, and I could see myself, and I thought, I am today the most famous person in this country. So,
I must have felt good. Did you? I mean, I don't know if your parents are still around. I don't want
no,
to.
they passed away, yeah.
Did your dad end up saying, well done? You didn't get that moment of satisfaction?
No, he would say stuff like, when I got my first major speaking part on the BBC, he would say, call that acting, that's a bloody disgrace.
Oh, darling.
When I won bodybuilding, he only came to one competition, he would say, see the guy that came second? He should have won that. These are painful things I always remember.
Really?
Yeah, terrible.
I don't know, it's a lifetime to work through them, but
Yeah.
I suppose it gives you a lot of insight and empathy
Yes, it
when
does.
you're helping other people, because you know.
I know what
you
it's
can
like.
go to that raw place
Yeah.
and know how hurtful it can be.
Yeah.
But how you can get over it.
How you can get over it, but it also gives you a sense of imposter syndrome. So by that time I was moving to Hollywood, and I had 4 times Hollywood kind of knocked the door. I was offered the part of Tarzan and all these other things, and you think in your mind, this is too fantastic. I'm an imposter. I was told I wasn't good enough. And that's why I'm in the profession I'm in, because everybody deserves to be happy, Nicole. Everybody deserves to be happy. And when I see misery and suffering, often I deal with a lot of obese patients. That's what I do. And when I see a woman that is, are we allowed to say that word these days? Ample.
A more voluptuous
More
woman.
voluptuous.
Voluptuous is the word I choose.
Yeah, okay, more voluptuous. They haven't done that because they're greedy. What you find, and you dig down with women in particular, you find there's something terrible that's happened in their lives, and they've almost manifested a wall or something around them to protect themselves. And it's my job to find out what that is and to help them move forward with their lives. And that all comes from the trauma from my past, because I understand what that feels like, you know, and what it feels like to be miserable. Yeah.
Isn't it sad that because of our physicality that people can make fun of us, whether you're too skinny, we're too fat, we're too tall, we're too this, we're too that. All this judging going on. I mean, leave it out. We should get on with ourselves. We haven't even got round to talking about your business as such, which is the nutritionist, I suppose, is what you're concentrating on. Principally is getting to be the right weight, getting to be the right frame of mind. It's a bit like an all-round life coach with clinical nutritional ability.
Correct, yeah. So you might have heard of something, a lot of people have heard of things called peptides, and peptides are messengers. So we introduce a peptide into a person, not Ozempic and not Winnicott, but all these other types of GLP-1 blockers which have masses of side effects. And what they're finding now with the women that use this and the guys that use this, it deteriorates muscle tissue. And muscle tissue is the most important thing to retain as you get older and older, without question, above all else. So these types of GLP-1 blockers remove that, can create wasting, very bad
Is this
wasting.
like natural, chemical?
No, chemical wasting. So the people that are using these products are creating chemical wasting. So the peptide we use doesn't do that. It protects and preserves that muscle tissue and structural fat, and allows the body to do one thing, metabolize visceral fat, put a program in here in the hypothalamus, which is the place most people don't look at, and that is the master gland, that's the master reset. So we're creating a new reset, a new metabolic reset in that person. And so the other most important part is when that person's dropped down to a new weight, we then work for 21 days to show them a methodology to stabilize it. Because, you know, like Weight Watchers, all these types of other things which have gone bankrupt because of this, by the way, interestingly, in the UK. Who would ever thought that? But nobody teaches stabilisation. Nobody. Why? Well, why would you do that?
You make money off the problem.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's it, you got it in one.
Yeah.
Well, we don't do that. We stabilise. That person's
So this
important.
37 days basically is so somebody leaves with the right habits, the know-how, and then can continue this, because it's a lifelong process. It's just learning new habits.
It's empowering someone, absolutely, Nicole. It's empowering someone with knowledge. So then they can feel great. They don't need to exercise. Yeah, they can exercise when they come into the third phase. And they're asking me, right, which is the best way, rather than me telling them. Best way, right?
Yes, definitely.
So
When
you
it
say
comes
to me,
naturally.
hey, Mark, yeah, I feel really great. What can I do? That's a fantastic question, Nicole. What do you like doing? Well, I like walking like this and like that. Whatever. Great. Let's work that one out with us.
Well,
So
we're going to have to leave that there.
Yeah,
It's amazing the time's gone so quickly.
Wow.
We'll have to follow up on another one because I can tell there's a lot more. There's a lot more to share. But really, very honoured, delighted to meet you. Thank you for sharing your time. Congratulations on all your achievements.
Thank you.
It's a well done, deserved.
Oh, thank
yeah,
you, Nicole.
you go the distance. And I wish you lots of success here on the Costa del Sol.
Thank you.
And to sing you again to part 2.
Part 2.
Mark Manglo, part 1, to be continued.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, hey.
Zero Heroes, welcome to Gusto e Fantasia.
Linear director has come up with a squatter policy for just €24 a year. You don't have to have your home insurance with them. This is a completely separate matter to protect you from squatters. For more information, call 952 147834 or their website, lineardirector.com.
Zero Hero, welcome to Marbella! Yay!
Zero Hero, welcome here at the Gaucho de Banús.
Zero Hero!
Welcome to Vigo Banús.
Zero Hero, welcome to Sunday.
Zero Hero, welcome to Hard Rock Hotel Marbella.
Synergias. Synergy is a club that started off being a women's club, but now it's for everybody because it's so good with networking and getting people together that the men just had to get involved. So instead of being Synergias Femeninas, feminine synergy, it's now just the Synergy Club, which was founded by our lovely Elena Olthina. And today I'm delighted to welcome to the program a young lady called Anastasia, and she's helping out with the international section of the club because we've got lots of different groups to make sure that everybody's well connected. And it's lovely to welcome you to the program, Anastasia.
Thank you
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
My
you
one
to
word
invite
in
me.
Russian, Хорошо.
Хорошо. You're telling it's good. So
Good. But it's
great.
funny, it took me forever.
Yeah.
I have to remember it by Hara, there's sangria, and then sol is bueno. So a jug of sangria in the sun is good, and that's how I remember it.
Absolutely.
How long have you been in Marbella, Anastasia?
So in Marbella, not so long, but in Spain, like 27 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Where did you arrive to first?
first to Seville, to my lovely and very, very sunny Seville, very hot.
And very
hot.
Spanish.
Yeah, very Spanish.
Beautiful, yes.
I like it so. So just in 2 weeks, I think we start there the feria, the typical Spanish dancing, Sevillana. I like it so much. So I learned to dance Sevillana, and I go every year. Not this year, but but this year I have the great opportunity to enjoy Costa del Sol and all the people that they are here.
What made you make the changeover? Why the change?
The business, my business.
What
So-
do you do? Let's find out. Ooh, what do you do?
So I'm a lawyer and economist. Okay, and I have my business like in Seville. Okay, my office, business office in Seville. So we help to the people to make business. Especially we help to the foreign people who comes from the foreign and who want to live here in Spain, to establish here living and business here in Spain. So we help them in everything. So to build his business, to make to help them to pay taxes because everyone.
That's difficult.
It's very difficult, but we have to do it, and the legal advance. So and that was like part of my growing like entrepreneur. So I have my office in Seville, and I just choose. That was last year. The people were telling me, Anastasia, you have to go to the Costa del Sol. You have so many like clients there, so many to find. And I just took the decision just because every year I'm very Russia. So. I'm so long living here in Spain, but I still thinking like a Russian woman because my father was military, my mom was very strong woman too. So, and I told, yeah, okay, next year I'll go to Costa del Sol, and I took the decision in December was at first. And in January, just a month before, I was moving to...
This year?
Yeah.
So you're a brand newbie.
Absolutely.
Are you liking it?
Much, very much.
Lots of nice people, isn't it? It's a very welcoming city.
Absolutely. But it's very different, I have to say, from Seville. Because in Seville, there are so many Spanish people.
It's Spanish?
Yeah, very...
Seville is Spanish?
Absolutely.
Costa del Sol is...
It's international.
It's international. It's very hard to find Spain in the Costa del Sol.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like another side of the earth.
Exactly. Spain stops here, and then you have the Costa del Sol.
Absolutely, but I like it so much. It makes me to like come back to my origins, to Russia origins, because here it's
There's so many Russian people.
Yes, absolutely. I know that.
Is it enough? Too much?
Yeah.
Are you surprised at how many Russian people are here?
So much, to be honest. So, and we work with Russian people in Seville, but they are like people living in the Europe's countries, not in Seville. They are all outside, no. But here they are all people here. So I go to in the street when I have a lovely doggy too, a small doggy. So when we go to the street to have a walk, and I just hearing to the people speaking English, Russia. It was like, but it's lovely to me. It's like a very big opportunity. First, to improve my English, so I'm Russian and Spanish native speaker, but I want to be English speaker to native speaker, and I'm working hard on it every day.
Well, you've just done an interview in English, and you did it beautifully.
Absolutely, thank you so much.
Well done, high five. Absolutely
Thank
great.
you.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. A nice first introduction. As an Anastasia, lovely lawyer. She's also helping out Elena in the international aspect of the Synergies Club, and I believe you're going to be the speaker at the next Synergy Club breakfast. Tell us quickly about that. What date are you speaking?
Oh, that's gonna be on 8th of May, okay, at 9 in the morning. And that's gonna be like a motivational speaking to the business people, because they are all businessmen, women who were there. So, and also I will speak about my own experience. How did I get to stay where I am? Yeah, you know, so because I'm coming from a very simple family. So when we immigrated to Spain, I was 14. I had to start to work with 15, just cleaning flats. So, and being businesswoman for me was my dream since I was child. Just like when I was 8, I think. So early, I knew that I will be a businesswoman. So and I will speak about it, about my experience and how I get. And finally, we will finish. That's a very, very small secret. We will do a meditation for with the business, like looking business, for the people to see themselves in their future, and hope, I think that's gonna help them to
to visualize where they want to get there.
Absolutely, to get there.
Wow, what a program we've had this week. I mean, every single guest this week has been really very inspirational and just setting an example that everything is possible with a bit of passion and vision. And just go for it.
Yeah. Just go for it and put just love, doing everything.
Look at you, big,
love.
Powerful lawyer.
Yeah.
International lawyer, no less. You certainly succeeded. Wonderful to have you on the Costa del Sol.
Thank you
Welcome
so much.
to Marbella.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
Very pleasant.
I wish you the best of luck.
Okay,
and we'll see you at
so
the
much.
breakfast.
Yeah,
Contact Synergies Club.
Absolutely.
Join Synergy Club.
We're waiting for you there. Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. You can watch recordings of the programme from the rtv.tv website. You can also go to their YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel, Nicole King Marbella, and you can go to my website, nicoleking.es, for links not only to the RTV Marbella programme, but also to our Zero Hero website with that ever-increasing list of participating venues rewarding the designated driver with free soft drinks and prizes if you spend over 20 euros for everybody, plus my Marbella Moments column in the Euro Weekly News, a link to the United Nationalities of Marbella website, our Good Morning Spain website, anything you could need to know what's going on in our fabulous city in the lovely country of Spain that we call home. Take care of yourselves, be nice to each other, and I look forward to seeing you again next week for more of what's going on in Marbella right now.
You feel it's gonna go. You're